Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. 31st of October. Happy Halloween. Woo. No spooky business on Arsenal's end. 3-0 win against Preston. Light work. Pretty much felt like a training match. Genuinely felt like a training match. More or less didn't break even a sweat, let's be real. Especially defensively. Attacking wise, at times it was a horror show, I'm not gonna lie, with Sterling and everything, but it was what it was. But overall, defensively, they didn't test us at all. Stratford had almost nothing to do. 1-2 crosses, 1-2 shots, nothing special. But 3-0 win, we advance into the next round. And already, of course, yesterday was a draw, and it's been confirmed that we are gonna play against Crystal Palace. In a quite weird time as well, because we will play back-to-back against Crystal Palace. But, if I'm not mistaken at least. But yeah, for today, we're gonna talk about, obviously, the game in Carabao Cup. We're gonna talk about some injury boosts in Gabriel, Odegaard, and some other players. And of course, there's some transfer news, ironically enough. Of course, we are just 2 months away since till winter transfer window opens up. There are some links with some players. Obviously, more or less, it most likely is gonna be summer transfers, but potentially Arsenal actually will do something in January for a change. So there is hope to that. So we're definitely gonna speak on it, of course. So if you're new around here, don't forget to smash thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. If you want to chat, get live interactive in the chat, of course. If you're watching this as a playback, of course, leave down a comment below. I tend to reply almost pretty much to every single comment, so it could be quite a bit of fun, discuss and talk about certain topics, of course. But yeah, I think we're gonna kick things straight off. We're not gonna dilly-dally over everything too much. We're gonna dig straight in. Arsenal, of course, yesterday won. It was what it was. It was a 3-0 win against Preston, of course. Against Preston, it was, as I said, very, very easy game. And player who won man of the match, according to Arsenal fans at least, not for UEFA, FIFA, whatever, PFA, FA, and all that stuff, was, of course, Nwaneri. And what a goal he scored. What a goal he scored. One touch, drops a shoulder, and bang. Just top bins, no goalkeeper in the world would save that shot. Sublime finish, phenomenal finish. And let's be real, the games he has played from bell to bell pretty much has been 2. Bolton and, of course, against Preston. And he has been phenomenal. I know it was only Preston, it was only Bolton. It may seem like a bit of an overreaction as well, but I want him to start. I don't care, just give him the chance. Give him the chance in Premier League. Let's be real, the games against Bournemouth, Southampton, Leicester were the games where he should have been starting. At least in my opinion. I don't know if you agree on that or not. Let me know that down in comments below, of course. But overall, I think he should have started. And for me, Nwaneri was man of the match. The way he plays, the way he sees the pitch, the way he passes the ball, he put a chance for Jesus on plate and he scuffed it totally. He didn't score. That was a massive shame. He could have been on 2 goals and an assist. And to be honest, he scored a banger in the goal. He scored the second goal. And in the second half, he could... No, it wasn't. It was the second half. He could have scored another one. He had another similar shot from the similar place and he hit the bar and it went out. So he has a very nice shot on him, and that is something very uncharacteristic because, let's be real, Martin Odegaard in the same situation, no chance he's gonna shoot. He's gonna try and do, I don't know, the stanky leg, he's gonna shuffle and everything, all those moves, you know, whip and nay and all that stuff, and he's gonna try and play someone in. He's never gonna drop a shoulder, take a touch, and try and bend it far corner, because he never does that. Nwaneri actually took an initiative, he took a touch, and he just scored it, and it was a phenomenal finish. Big up Nathan in the chat, big up my guy. Kivior got man of the match, but my eyes don't lie, it was Jorginho. Also scored, had Kivior's man of the match, didn't see the tweet. Yeah, that's the thing. Kivior, based on Sofa score basically, and all those places, he got man of the match mostly because he's a center back, he kept a clean sheet, and he had 2 assists. Defensively, he didn't have to do much. So he also he couldn't put a foot a bit wrong. He didn't have a chance to make a mistake. Yes, he got caught out a bit of out of position 2-3 times, but overall, it feels like it's his level. Generally, it feels like Kivior's level is like mid-lower end Premier League side, top end tier side in Championship. I'm talking about here, I don't know, Leeds and stuff like that, basically. But yeah, For me personally, yeah, Nwaneri is man of the match without shadow of a doubt. Mostly because as well, he's 17. And in games like these, you would expect your main guys who you depend upon, like Jesus, like Sterling, and players like that to show up and show what they got. To smash them, to do everything. And it was something similar like against Bolton. Sterling had a stinker, complete stinker. He couldn't buy a goal if his life depended on it. Let's be real. Jesus as well, he scored a goal. Okay, cool. Finally, after 24, 25 games of not scoring, he finally has scored a goal, but he had a chance to score at least one or two more. In previous games as well, he has missed quite a bit of chances. Only hope is that he can stay healthy now, and this goal kind of allows him to maybe build on that. Maybe he gets some more confidence and maybe he can score a few goals here or there. Because his best goal scoring season in general in Premier League has been 14 goals, and it was for City. And if he want to do something, it had to be if we want to win something, he had to start scoring. Let's be real. And I'm gonna be honest, Nwaneri was man of the match because he just was the best player on the pitch. Yes, I can see your argument that it could be Jorginho and stuff like that, but for me personally, I would give it to Nwaneri because he kind of deserves it. The way he's being treated and everything, and the way he performs without getting consistent game time and everything, it's phenomenal. Let's be real. We have legitimately a big talent on our hands. The question is, will we use him? Will he not get mismanaged by Mikel Arteta? Because my biggest worry is now, Odegaard is very close to being back. We're going to speak on Odegaard in a second. And that potentially could mean that Nwaneri doesn't see the pitch again. Yes, we sub on our captain Martin Odegaard quite a bit at times, but we don't sub on Nwaneri ever. And while Odegaard has been out, Nwaneri, to be honest, has been the bright spot of the lot who has played in number 10. Trossard has had one good game as number 10, and that was against PSG when we played double striker, when he was number 9, number 10, kind of shifting around. But overall, Nwaneri, whether he has played full game, it was Bolton, full game, almost full game, it was Preston, or he has come on for 10-15 minutes, whenever he has been on the pitch, he has set the world on fire pretty much. He has had some very good movements, very good touches, he has had very good ball carrying, good passes, decent shots, dangerous shots, let's be real. And with every performance, he just proves that he should be starting at least some games. And the fact that he hasn't played against Leicester, against Southampton and teams like that is a massive, massive travesty. And my worry again is that he will get mismanaged again once Odegaard comes back. Because Odegaard is our captain, he's our main guy, according to Mikel Arteta and many people, let's be real. And Nwaneri might not see a pitch again, almost ever. Maybe as a sub here or there, or when something has happened, maybe season is over by March, when we are too far behind or something, then we might see him on a more consistent basis. Because I don't see other way. And my worry is that if this keeps up, he will either get loaned out, again like 50 million times, and we will sell him for nothing like we did with Patino, although Patino doesn't have the levels of Nwaneri at least, or it will be another Chidobe Martin situation. He's not gonna get proper game time, he's gonna get mismanaged, and he will just hand in transfer request. That for me is another worry, because at the moment he has proved enough that he should be starting, at least in that number 10 role. In that 10 role, we are struggling quite a bit in creating and carrying the ball and everything. And you cannot tell me that when Nwaneri starting in that 10 role, he would be doing much worse than Trossard has done most of the time. He would not be performing better even than as many players that have started instead of him. For example, like Sterling on the wing, right? You cannot tell me that you cannot put Martinelli on the wing, for example, and play Nwaneri in that 10 role. Because more times than not, it has all been built. The team has been built while Odegaard is out for Trossard to play many times as that number 10 spot. And you cannot tell me about the stinkers that many players have dropped over the games when Nwaneri would have done worse. Because when Nwaneri is 17, he has no pressure. He has everything to gain and almost nothing to lose, in a way. Let's be real. And the fact that he is performing so brightly and he's not being given a chance even, like a proper start, even for one game, in my eyes, it's a bit of a travesty. Let's be real. It's a bit of a travesty. It's a mismanagement, and it's in a way also an arrogance from Mikel Arteta's side. That is also for me a big issue. Big issue. Sterling was unlucky to score. Yeah, you can say that. Sterling had about 4 chances to score and he didn't. At the same time, he's a player who's on massive amounts of money. Let's be real. Yes, Arsenal are covering only a bit more than 100 grand. The rest was covered by Chelsea. But overall, he has won titles. He has won titles at City. He has scored for City. He has played in every major tournament. At times been the best player even and stuff like that. And he couldn't yesterday buy even a goal. He was trying to pass the ball into the net. At many times when you look at these instances, what Saka does in that situation, what Jesus even at times does in that situation, he lifts the ball off the ground. Because as soon as you lift the ball from the ground and you try maybe to hit even the middle of the net, it becomes 10 times harder for opponent to block. Because as soon as you shoot on the ground, there's a chance that the opponent will commit with a slide tackle, slide block, or whatever. There's a chance the ball is going to get stuck somewhere. And Sterling yesterday just epitomized that. He was unlucky to score, in a way as well, I'll admit that. But the way he played yesterday, it was painful to watch. It's quite a bit in recent times painful to watch Martinelli play. This was 100 times worse. I'm not gonna lie, it was 100 times worse. If it was up to me, and this sounds very dramatic in a way, I would cancel his loan if it's a possibility. In January, cancel his loan and sign a proper winger, for example. That would be what I do. Because when Sterling has said, you're gonna see the best of me. So far, he's done nothing. Legitimately, he has done nothing. And he has gotten 100 times more chances to do something than Nwaneri, for example, right? And Nwaneri, in the minimal time he has gotten, he has done again 10 times more than Sterling has done. Like, I know it sounds a bit rash, a bit cruel and everything, but let's be real, Sterling is past it. We have to move on. We need to sign proper players. Like Edu said, get excited. By the end of the transfer window, you will be excited. If you told me at that time when he said that us signing Sterling was the thing he had in mind, I would have pretty much taken a break and throw it at you. No joke. If someone in the beginning of the transfer window would have told me that at the end of summer transfer window our signings would be Calafiori, Merino, Neto, and Sterling, I would have turned and I genuinely would have called 911 and sent you to the asylum. Like, what are we doing here? Sterling is not good enough. I know I was one of the advocates. In a way, I sounded like a top gooder on some streams of mine and said that there is a possibility that Mikel Arteta could unlock Sterling. He could because he knows him, he has trained him personally as well. He has been a partial influence on him and reason why he has the success he has had. Yet at the same time, we see none of it now. It generally feels like he's just past it. He just doesn't have the levels anymore. And also, he looks 100 times better on the left than he looks on the right. So playing at the right is not an option. Which again brings the big issue. Once Odegaard even comes back, unless Nwaneri starts, we have 3 players on the left side. What are we gonna do there? Because Martinelli, Trossard, Sterling all have had very subpar performances. Yes, they have had bright spots here or there, but overall, it's been below par. It's been below question. It's been painful to watch, let's be real. And we all were hoping that maybe signing Merino, Calafiori will unlock that left side. Yes, you could say that with Timber on the left side, Martinelli has looked more dangerous. With Calafiori on the left side at times, he has looked quite dangerous. But overall, nothing has happened. You could argue that Martinelli missing that one chance we had against Bournemouth was the reason we lost the game. And there shouldn't be also argument about that, because if he scored, it's a completely different game. We had one chance pretty much throughout that whole game to properly score, and we fluffed it and we lost 2-0. Like, there are numerous of these, and it's not a wonder that Mikel Arteta on numerous occasions has tried to replace Martinelli. And we brought Trossard as well in to try and maybe as a backup and everything, but it hasn't worked. Nothing has worked. Our left side, in general, at the moment, overall, is a weak spot. Left wing, left back. That side for us is a very, very sore subject at the moment. If you would say 2 seasons ago that after 2 years I would be worried that our left side is just not good enough, I would have said you're crazy and would have generally blocked you on my messages on my phone. Because we were flying, playing expensive attacking football. Now we see none of it. And as soon as that stopped, Martinelli can't do anything. Trossard cannot do anything, even though he just joined a year and a half ago. But still, he can't do any. Well, 2 years ago, he can't do anything almost because we play very slow football. Same goes for Sterling and everything. Sterling needs open space. He needs overlapping like Cancelo used to do. But we don't do that. We invert, so he has no support. Similarly, like with Martinelli, Martinelli needs overlapping. But again, we don't do that anymore. It feels like we only overlap on the right side more often than not. We don't do that on the left side as much. Because Martinelli's best partnership, as wild as it sounds, was with Granit Xhaka. When Zinchenko inverted into the midfield and Granit Xhaka overlapped him numerous times, and it worked like a charm. You can see that the way we scored against United with the 3 seasons ago and everything. In other games, it was Xhaka who was overlapping Martinelli, bringing away that second defender who was double teaming him and opening up spaces. We do none of that now. And I think it's one of the biggest reasons. Yet at the same time, the way Martinelli, if he's the guy that he gets hyped up to be by many people, he should be able to do some stuff alone. Because he cannot. He just doesn't have the skill to single-handedly create for himself. He just doesn't. Genuinely, he doesn't. And that's his biggest downfall. He plays with his head down. He has one speed ahead and he almost never stops. Or if he stops, then he passes back. He rarely takes on his opponent as well. He tries, but he fails most of the time, even if he wants to try. And on top of all of that, he's a Brazilian. He should be good at some skills and stuff like that. He has none of that. There is no indication of Jogo Bonito in him. That is the big, big issue as well. Not mad about Ethan. On another day he gets... Exactly. I think... well, tomorrow we're going to talk about Newcastle game because it's an early kickoff on Saturday, but there will be some talking point of Ethan Nwaneri potentially starting that game, I'm not going to lie. But Nwaneri, to be honest, in these 2 Carabao Cup games easily could have been on about 4 or 5 goals and 3-4 assists combined. Easily. It's just the fact that our attack is not clinical enough to finish the chances that get created for them. And it's not only for the rotational team, it's for the main team as well. And that is also one of the biggest reasons why year after year we have come short. Yeah, 2 years ago, last year, and more likely than not it will happen also this year. Because we don't have that killer instinct up front. It's painful, generally. Next season, midfield will be Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri. So, wait. So where does that put Merino, for example? Who's going to be our backup and everything? If you play this midfield, we need a backup for Odegaard. We need a backup for Nwaneri. Okay, Merino, for example, for Odegaard in the 8. Who's going to be Nwaneri's backup in the 10, for example? We need to sign another player. It's a big issue because 2 of our midfielders are gone next summer. Jorginho and Partey, most likely. Apparently Jorginho wants to be a coach. He's doing his badges as he's playing at the moment. Might become one of them. In my opinion, that's a random theory on my end, but he could become a coach for Arsenal's under something team, especially since Jack Wilshere has left. What's going to happen with Partey, I have no idea. But both of those people's contracts end at the end of this season. There are some rumors Arsenal might try to extend Partey's contract for 1 year. Do I want that? If he can stay fit and he can play his best football still, I wouldn't be against that. But only under a condition that he's not the main guy anymore. We need a replacement for him. A starting replacement, a strong replacement. That is also a big, big thing. Sterling spent so much time as a striker, I was confused. Yeah, that's the thing. He was kind of inverting into the striker role. And he has played there, let's be real. Pep Guardiola, and before he got Haaland, right? Before we funded, to be honest, Haaland for him with signing Jesus and Zinchenko, he used wingers as number 9s. I know, yes, there was Sterling, there was Mahrez, Bernardo Silva has played there, even De Bruyne played there on occasion. Foden has played there. Before he got this out and out main man up top as a striker, forward striker, he used wingers as that in those roles, and it worked like a charm. And Arteta, I guess, is trying to something similar. He's trying to do the blueprint when you don't need the main striker, but it's not working for Arsenal. It's not gonna work, mostly because we don't play. No, we don't have that ability up front. We just don't. We don't have the ability of Mahrez in no positions. We don't have ability of Sane and players like that in no positions. We just don't. That is also a big thing. We just don't have the quality enough. Yes, we have good attackers. I'm not saying we don't, but we are lacking quality in multiple positions and on a certain level. I never rated Martinelli even that season. Like, I can see the argument, but you also cannot deny the fact that that one season when we played this ultra attacking, gun-ho, rock and roll type attacking football, Martinelli was fantastic. Let's be real. Yes, he missed few chances, but we scored a bunch of chances. That was his best season. And that, I think, is an environment, tactic and style where Martinelli will thrive. As soon as Arteta got the PTSD of losing 8-point lead, and he shifted to be more controlled and slower, much slower and defensive, Martinelli disappeared from the face of the earth pretty much. That's why I think Martinelli would be perfect in teams like Brighton, in team like, who else play? Someone who plays very attacking and plays with over-the-top balls, and especially against teams who play high line. That's where Martinelli is the most effective. But then again, even though we play this slow football, all that falls on Arteta. Because he's the manager, he's the coach. He should be doing something, and everything to be honest, to build and structure the team, player-wise, tactically, all that stuff, so we kind of highlight the strengths of all of our players, and while highlighting the strengths of those players, at the same time, we mask the weaknesses of those players. But you can see every single game that we don't do that. We try basically the same thing over and over again most of the time. We don't try plan B, plan C, plan D, we have plan A only. And if it doesn't work, we are kind of stumped. Because as soon as we are asked to create on the spot, be spontaneous, creative at times, without having a game plan, we have this deer in headlights look pretty much. We don't know what is going on. And that again is not just Arteta problem as well. It's a problem in modern football in general. Because the football these days, on many instances, is so robotic, so predictable. Most of the players are positional players. They are boxed in certain spots, in certain positions on the pitch, and they have to play a certain style for the vision of the manager to work, basically. And I think that is also why there is at least two levels where Saka can go up higher. There are levels where Declan Rice can go up. Many players in our team actually can go up. And I kind of also believe that this manager is not the one to get them there. We need a completely different manager with different ideas and different vision for those players to actually unlock those. When it's gonna happen, I have no idea. Because at the moment, if Arteta doesn't win, he has to go at the end of this season. And the way he has spoken recently in interviews, saying that there is no security in this job, he's now taking the cups all of a sudden seriously after 5 years. You kind of get the feeling that there is pressure on him somehow. You get the feeling there's pressure, there is some threat coming from the above, and he has been told something he didn't like to hear. Either there genuinely is some fire lit up under his ass, genuinely. And if he doesn't manage to get it over the line, there could be some massive repercussions. It feels that way at the moment, because it doesn't make sense that for 4 years straight, we don't take, 3.5, we don't take cups seriously whatsoever, and now we start to play some of our best players, we start to attack, we try to play more composed, we try to actually do something. It's not a coincidence. Because there was no reason for us, for example, yesterday to sub on Bukayo Saka. Why did we do that? I have no idea. There was no reason for Partey to play yesterday. I can see Saliba playing just because he missed a game week, because of the suspension and everything, to get some legs into him for a Newcastle game. But overall, there were some players who just shouldn't be on the pitch in general. Why Timber was playing also, I have no idea. Yes, he got subbed off at halftime. Yet at the same time, he shouldn't be playing anyways. He just got subbed off forcefully due to cramps and some issues. Let him rest. Let him be prepared for Newcastle. We should have won this game no matter what. I get it, but our players, they did nothing on the attack, Preston, which means our defense had nothing to do. So playing Saliba and players like that was big risk, because as soon as something goes wrong, one tackle, one slip, and we get injured, you pretty much can chalk the whole season up. Let's be real, especially if Saliba goes down. Because I strongly believe we cannot survive whole season without Saliba. I strongly believe so. We saw that 2 years ago when Saliba got injured and we had to play Rob Holding. Yes, we have more defenders, but the way they're injury prone at the moment, most of them actually as well, if we lose Saliba, it could get very long. If that would have happened, for example. Because this summer window, I was talking about this. What if we get major injuries for multiple our main guys? What if Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, those players get injured? And not alone one of them. What if 2 or 3 of them get injured at the same time? Our team is instantly in issues. And it's showing at the moment as well. And that was one of the biggest worries. And it's still a worry now. Because we don't know what's going to happen and how it's going to go. Still. Isak is refusing to sign a new deal. Yeah, I read that as well. Isak is refusing to sign a new deal because the things that he got promised at Newcastle are not being fulfilled at the moment. They are not high up in the table. They're nowhere near in Champions League spot. Wait, let's look. Premier League table. Yeah, Newcastle at the moment are 12th. 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. They are not in a great form in general, which again is a very bad thing for Arsenal. Because usually games like these, when teams are not in the greatest of forms, are the biggest banana peel games for Arsenal, where they struggle the most. Remember last year what happened against Newcastle when we went there? One questionable decision and we lose the game 1-0 instantly. And that was that. That generally was that. Isak's contract runs out in 2028. June of 2028. That's where his contract runs out. So in 4 years, basically. At the end of the season, it will be 3 years. So there might be something to it. Who knows? But there definitely might be something to it. That game was a robbery. Because the rule states, if there is not a definitive answer to the question, actually whether it's a foul, whether it's out of bounds or something, or offside or whatever, the call on the pitch stays. And you could clearly see that there was a foul on Gabriel at worst. You could see that the ball goes out of play. You could see those things. But yeah, it was what it was. But at the same time, let's be real. We all know how refereeing in Premier League goes, how inconsistent they are. And there will be almost every single weekend, we get very questionable decisions that gets talked about for the next month, pretty much. And that again gets more eyes to the league, gets more PR and everything. It's more money at the end of the day, of course, for the league in that regard. But we should be doing everything in our power to win games despite all of that. And in multiple games when there have been questionable decisions going against Arsenal, it's been our own fault because we just didn't get the job done before that happened. And it has happened in the games. We should be winning either way. That is the thing. It usually happens in games which we should be winning by default. Well, if you get what I mean, we should be winning no matter what. Obviously, we get some calls in favor of us as well. Let's not deny that. Let's not beat around the bush. There are some yellows, red cards for opposing sides that should not be called as well. There's some fouls that should not be called, but that's how it goes. That's Premier League. That's the referees here. They are actually awful. But hey ho. It is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But anyways. Nwaneri got man of the match for yesterday, right? So, yeah. Here it is. I enjoyed last night's game so much. The commentators weren't trying to feed narratives, they just appreciate the football. Exactly. You know what the best thing was about yesterday? There was no VAR. So the whole game, I could have just sat there, watched the game, and whatever happens, happens. I could just let my emotions just go. If it was a questionable call, I could have get angry, I could have make my peace with it. If it's a goal, it's a goal. There are no 5-minute checks on the screen. By that time all the hype of the goal is gone and everything. There was no VAR yesterday. And that was arguably one of the best things ever. Because that should be the football thing. That should be football. Emotions, fans, everything. And that should be just that what football should be about. Not 6-minute VAR checks to see if ball went out of the play at some given time by a leg hair and everything and stuff like that. Because we survived countless years before that. These all big controversies and everything mostly started as soon as VAR came into play. Yes, there were bad calls before that, but since VAR has come in, it's been genuinely a shit show, hell on earth pretty much, in that regard. So, it is what it is, I guess. Have to make peace with it. Okay, some transfer news and stuff like that. According to Alex Crook, Brentford have given informed striker Brian Mbeumo a £50 million asking price. Arsenal are joined by Liverpool and Newcastle in their interest into the attacker. Now, we spoke about this a few days ago. I said that Mbeumo, in my opinion, would be great for Arsenal as a right winger, as a number 9 in general as well. Plus, I would say he would cost around 45 to 50 million. So, here we are. Brentford want 50 million. The thing is though, Liverpool and Newcastle also are interested. Obviously, Liverpool has the big thing about Mohamed Salah. How they're going to replace him? In my opinion, obviously, Mbeumo isn't the answer. What they're going to do in that regard, we'll obviously have to wait and see. Newcastle, on the other hand, there's a completely different thing. As soon as these news started to come out, I also read that Newcastle instantly afterwards, pretty much, that Newcastle, they are interested in Mbeumo. The issue with Newcastle is, though, they have issues with FFP, PSR, all that stuff. So if they would want to sign him, it would be hella tricky. And if they want to guarantee that signing, they would need to sell. So Newcastle arguably could be out of the equation. Saying that, we all know that these teams, lawyers and everyone usually tend to find some sort of a loophole and stuff like that in the system to kind of basically scam the deal through, but in a way. So it all remains to be seen. But the fact that Mbeumo is available, 50 million, available for Arsenal as well, it would be very, very interesting. The issue with this is though, it doesn't scream like a January signing for me in terms of Arsenal. I might be wrong, let's be real, but most of these signings we're gonna talk about, it screams summer. It doesn't scream January, and that's what is worrying me. Because in January transfer window, you should have some information and the kind of vision of how the season could go, obviously, since half the season is gone, you're in the cups and everything. And you should also have a general idea in which positions you need some additions. So, obviously, we know that right wing spot needs an addition, of course. That number 9 spot definitely needs an addition, so it could be the case that it's a January signing, but more it screams to me like a summer signing, unfortunately. That is a big thing for me. At least that's the way I see it. But for me, Mbeumo, if Arsenal signed him, I actually would be happy. Because for me, he's actually one of those wingers I would actually properly take, especially since he's Premier League proven and actually can score goals. In other news, according to Football Insider, apparently Arsenal are working on a deal to sign Leroy Sané on a free transfer when his Bayern contract expires next summer. So, obviously, as it states, Leroy Sané's contract runs out at the end of this season. Arsenal doesn't sign free agents, let's be real. When they do, it's usually a useless signing that just eats up our money and they never do anything on the pitch. Let's be real, if we kind of rewind the film and think it back, That is 90% of time the thing that has happened at Arsenal. Leroy Sané is an interesting one because based on how our team's built, the way we play, only way I can see him playing and signing is if he has a guaranteed role as a starter on the left wing. That is the only way I can see this happening. Because there's no chance in hell Sané would sign up to be a backup for Bukayo Saka. The only way we can sign him is the way that we guarantee him a starting spot at left wing. The question now comes, is he better than Martinelli? Is Sané better than Trossard? And let's be real, Sané is better than Sterling. The biggest question is about Trossard and Martinelli, the main two left wingers we have. And now this raises the question, how much money would he want, if Arsenal are working on it, allegedly? And would you take him at Arsenal? That is also a big question. Would you take Leroy Sané at Arsenal? Because the only way he comes, in my opinion, pause, is him being a starter left wing at Arsenal. Now, let's be real about this. Sané is a great player. He destroyed us last year in Champions League as well. He played the perfect game against Kivior, Tomiyasu. Didn't matter who was against him. He was cooking. Bayern in general was cooking last year. Even against Real Madrid, Bayern had multiple chances to score goals and go through. It was just Real Madrid. Somehow the aura and everything of Real Madrid just got the best of them. That is the thing. I can see this happening because this signing screams Arsenal. And it screams Arteta in that sense. It screams Arteta also in the sense that because Sané has worked under Arteta at City, of course. So that also could be the case. The question is why we are signing mostly players just we have the know with. Basically, we know. Because that's how we signed Jesus, Zinchenko, that's how we signed what's-its-face, Sterling and everything. That's how we signed these guys. Now Sané. Why are we signing players that they know only? That is a weird one. That's an interesting question, but the question still stands. Would you take Leroy Sané at Arsenal on a free deal? The other thing is, I can see this happening, but only if Arsenal guarantee him a starting role as a left winger. That is the only way I can see this happening. Let me know in the chat, in comments, if you're watching this as a playback, would you take Sané at Arsenal? And if so, where do you see him play? Big up Pepper in the chat, big up my guy. I can see that, Nathan. And for me as well, it's like, because there are options out there we could try and sign, obviously. Will Arsenal sign them? That I have less belief in. That is the big thing. He'll be Williams' backup. I don't think Arsenal will sign Williams. I don't think. I think that ship has sailed already. Even, remember last stream, it was 2 days ago, we talked about that allegedly Arsenal offered 150 million. No, they haven't. I still strongly... The biggest good thing is, with Williams, he's not going to, what's-its-face? Barcelona, because the way they're playing under Flick with Rafinha and everyone, there is no room for him. There is no room legit for him if they keep this up. So Williams' options is staying there or maybe coming to Premier League. Maybe, but I'm not sure. For me, the thing about Williams is he is a bit more techie Martinelli. That for me is how I see Nico Williams. Because let's be real, for Spain with the correct system, style and everything, especially that the Spain coach, the main team's coach, has coached De La Fuente, has also coached under 21s, under 18s. So he has coached most of the players he took to Euros and he knows how they play, what are their strengths and weaknesses. So he also knows Nico Williams. Hence why he knows how to get best out of them and best out of him. So that's why also in Euros he looked like a world beater. And that is also the reason why we don't judge players based on international form only. Because if you watch Athletic Bilbao games, yes, he scores goals, yes, he gets assists, but at the same time, if you kind of isolate yourself and look how he plays, there are quite a bit of similarities you can see with Gabriel Martinelli. The way he tends to dribble out like Martinelli does out of the game due to the touchline and everything. There are similarities as well. His best position is also left wing, so that is also a big thing. Yeah, he's unattainable. 100 plus 120, 130 million, no chance we are paying that for him as well. Selling Jesus covers a lot of that. Yeah, selling Jesus definitely covers pretty much everything about Mbeumo, doesn't it? Because Mbeumo would be 50 million. Let's be real, we sell Jesus about 35 billion or 40 even, yeah? Jesus is on 265 grand a week, which means if you, obviously Mbeumo would be on about 100, 120 in my opinion, based on how Arsenal are paying wages. So he gets less than half of what Gabriel Jesus is on, right? So overall, you could argue that selling Jesus, and if you take wages into account, it would balance each other out. It genuinely would balance each other out potentially. That could also be the case. Arteta loves wash downs. No, yeah, he loves those. Definitely loves those. Will it come to fruition? I have no idea, but it's a weird one. Let's be real. It is a weird one. Apparently Arsenal are working to sign him. Would he work at Arsenal? That is also a big question. Because Sane, to be the most effective, needs some space, and he needs some overlapping wingbacks. And we don't overlap as much, because if we overlap as soon as we sign Sane, it just would show that Arteta just doesn't like Martinelli. Because we all have seen that Martinelli is very effective when he gets overlapped by Tierney, by Xhaka, even when Timber or Calafiori does it. So how comes you don't do it now when you have Martinelli, and you would be start doing that as soon as we sign Sane? So it's a weird one. It's a very, very weird one. But at the same time, he has cooked us on multiple occasions. Yes, for Bayern Munich predominantly he plays right wing, because he can then cut in on his left foot, which is genuinely a cannon, and he can blast it into the top bins. That is the thing. That is the thing. Fans will turn on Arteta if he doesn't play Nwaneri this season. Oh, 100%. 100%. Because Nwaneri should have played at least 2 games in Premier League already. Full games. Southampton, Leicester, you could argue even Bournemouth. 2 at least. And he has played, generally, in 2 games against Bolton and Preston. Mind you, it's only Bolton and Preston, but still. Plus the little cameos he has had in Premier League, right? In those 10, 15 minutes. He has had more excitement, and he has done more than Sterling and Jesus combined throughout the whole season, being our main bench guys. Main guys of the bench. A 17-year-old who basically, nobody's demanding nothing, we just want him given a chance, has done much more in his limited time than Sterling and Jesus combined. Like, isn't that telling something, isn't it? Quara is the best, but club is obsessed with Williams. No proper left wing on the market. I like Gordon, but no, you are. Yeah, I don't like Gordon. Gordon is overhyped in my opinion. He likes to dive as well. We have all seen that. Let's see if he dives against us on Saturday. But for me, Gordon, yes, he has the pace. Yes, he tends to finish. But for me, again, it's not it. For Arsenal, it's not it. Another player that is not it. Because Gordon is the most effective when he gets to utilize his pace. Same goes for Martinelli. Most effective when he gets to utilize his pace. Do we play like we are utilizing players' pace at all? We tend to. But on consistent basis, no, we camp on edge of the box passing it around. So basically we need maybe a player who has decent pace, but at the same time who is very tricky and can create for himself. In that instance, for example, Savio would be the perfect player on left wing for Arsenal, in my opinion, because he has pace, he has technical ability, he can create, and he can score. He has that package. He would be the perfect one for Arsenal. So I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. But for me, Gordon definitely not, in my opinion. On top of that, Gordon would cost Arm a leg. English, Prem tax, and all that stuff, 80 million something rather. I much rather just go sign someone else. Genuinely just go sign someone else. I don't want to diss anyone, but whoever posted this thing on the internet needs sacking straight up. In which universe does this make any sense? Like, seriously. Like, what are people what is admin doing here of AFTV account? How can you put Kivior and compare him to De Bruyne? Like, what is going through your brain to even decide to do something? Think about something like that. Like, what the hell is that? I just put it in on the stream and I liked it just so I can talk about this on the stream. Like, what the hell? This is embarrassing and pathetic. Comparing Kivior to De Bruyne. Not to mention De Bruyne is injured at the moment as well. How about we compare, I don't know, assists over a season, trophies, something like that, titles. Like, what the hell is that? Like, generally, what the F is that? This is why they hate Arsenal. This is why they... Exactly. Stupidity like that is why we get so much hate. Not all of us. A big part of the fan base. Why? Because of shit like that. Generally shameless settings from AFT admin. Fully shameless. I wonder if we could play Saka on the left wing and go and buy another right winger such as Buemo. We could. However, we need to remember this. Arteta loves left-footed player on the right wing and right-footed player on the left wing. Because it's not a coincidence that all our left wingers are right-footed. On top of that, Saka already has a partnership with Odegaard and Timber or White, whoever plays right back. So disrupting that again could do more harm than good, given the fact that most of our dangerous creative sparks come from that side. That is also a thing. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I would genuinely love for Arsenal mid-game, for example, randomly switch sides, just entertain the goddamn idea. Mid-game swap Saka and Martinelli wings, for example, so the strong foot for the player is on the outside so he can cross maybe properly, or he can shoot properly. Saka has both feet on decent level. He can do both. Plus, if Saka plays on the left, there is more unpredictability. Because if he goes to the right, on the right side, cuts it, we all know he's gonna cut in and pass it back. And more often than not, defender is expecting that. On the left side, it would be a bit of a mystery because Saka genuinely can go down the line, he can cut in, and he can do all three of things of pass back, or just take on the defender, for example. Saka would be more dangerous on the left potentially even. You could make that argument on some level. But I would move Odegaard to the left. And who's gonna be the left back? We need a proper left back. Timber. For me, Timber, because I know the what's its face? Early bird special is Calafiori at the moment still. But the way White was injured, the way Saka was speaking about Timber, saying that he's fantastic, work ethic helps a lot going forward, and the fact that Saka implied himself that he doesn't have to track back as much because Timber is more solid defensively, leads me to believe that he should be partnered more with Timber when he's fit on that side where Saka is playing, solely because Saka can focus more on the attack than defense as well. Even though we defend with all 11 men, at the same time, it gives Saka more freedom in that instance. Arteta needs to think outside the box. You know, if he was doing that, Nwaneri would be playing instead of Trossard in that goddamn 10 role against Leicester, Southampton and all those teams. He would be, genuinely. If Arteta was thinking outside the box, we would not be playing same style every single game. We would switch formations, we would change tactics, we would do something else. But we are doing more or less the same thing until his hand is forced due to a massive injury or red card or stuff like that. We're very predictable, to be honest, as well on some level. Very predictable. It's like, yeah. Arteta should transport Odegaard and Saka to the left. Transport, mad. They gonna win the dog? Wait, pause. That didn't come out right. They gonna like on a horse, yee, on win the dog to the left side, and play Nwaneri as the central right hand side at 10. So Odegaard basically, in this instance, Odegaard becomes a left 8. So we could play midfield of Rice, Odegaard, and Nwaneri. I think Nathan suggested that a about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Midfield of, next season midfield. Rice 6, Odegaard 8, Nwaneri 10. He could do that already this season. Yeah, major pause. I didn't come out right. Anyway, speaking of Odegaard, Arsenal are hoping Martin Odegaard can return to the squad for next week's trip to Inter Milan. Midfielder has missed 11 games so far due to an ankle injury. There is genuine hope that he actually could be back. He generally could be back for Inter game. Obviously, that game is 5 days away, and he actually could be back. He could be back. The thing is, though, he said just recently that he just started training, right? It was 3 days ago. Arteta said Odegaard has just started training on the grass, right? Yet next day, I was reading in an article about Arsenal that Odegaard has been training on the pitch for the last few weeks. Go figure. At least he's training on the pitch. The question is for how long. But yeah, there is some belief that he could be back. But again, for me, the issue is as soon as he comes back, Nwaneri is done and dusted, by the way. He's not going to play because he is in the Odegaard spot. That for me is a big issue. Unless he puts him in a left 8, which I don't think he will because he needs to justify signing Merino now. Plus, Mikel has the same name as Arteta. Well, Merino has the same name as Arteta. There's no chance Mikel squared is not going to happen. That is also the case. Exactly. It seems to be that you are on the same wavelength in that regard. Arteta's spoken on Ethan Nwaneri, showing that everyday skills he has, his teammates trust him and as they give him the ball. That's a great sign for him. He's a big talent, right attitude. We have some player there. I'm sure of that. How about play him then, huh? How about playing him? See, Arteta also said the senior players were giving the ball to Ethan so that he can control the game. And he actually was controlling the game, left, right, and center. The thing is, can he frickin' start him in a Premier League game and see what happens? Because 2 of the best opportunities he already missed at home games against the 2 of the worst teams in the league in Southampton and Leicester. How about you actually do it? Anyhow, in other news, Premier League Player of the Month has come out. Ironically enough, there is Saka, which I generally don't think Saka should win it, solely based on the fact that we lost to Bournemouth. Although he didn't play against Bournemouth, so that also might not be taken into the account. In my opinion, it most likely will be either Palmer, either Welbeck. In my opinion. In the ideal world, it would be Saka, somehow. No idea how, but somehow. And interestingly enough, there's also Mbeumo there, so definitely Arsenal are looking at him. So Arsenal, go and sign him up, please. Thank you. Cole Palmer, yeah, I think it will be Cole Palmer, definitely. To be honest, Chelsea without Cole Palmer, right, is just shocking team to watch, to say the least. In other news, according to Football.London, oh boy, Riccardo Calafiori will be out until the international break at least. Well, that's nothing new, because before that it got said that he will be back after the international break. So if they say already that he will be at least till international break, it already is a bit worrisome, I'm not gonna lie. But we will have to take it day by day. Hopefully he gets a quick recovery and we get more defenders into the team. And here are some good news. Good news on Gabriel. It is understood that Gabriel Magalhaes was in contention to play against Preston on Wednesday. However, Arsenal ultimately decided to rest the player. And all I can say, thank God. Thank the Lord. Because I was already on very thin ice when I saw the Timber starting. Because after everything that happened with Timber and how he got subbed off and it was a small scare, I already was worried that it generally could go wrong instantly. I didn't want to see Timber play. Luckily, he got subbed off at halftime with no injuries, just in general. And also, I didn't want to see Saka play on the weekend, and he played as well, which is also not a great thing in my opinion. Although he needs some games to pick up some game speed, especially with the 3 away games that are coming up. But still, come on, man. We shouldn't sub on Saka to play against Preston when it's already 2-3-0. Let's be real. That was a weird one. Saliba, I get why he played. But again, he played a bit too long in my opinion. He should have played a bit less. So, yeah, I guess it is what it is. But those are some good news on Gabriel's front, on Odegaard's front, that they are slowly coming back. Gabriel Magalhaes fit is very good news. It's for my FPL as well. Hey, get your priorities straight. Arsenal, then FPL, right? Okay? But yeah, as soon as we can... The quicker we can see back, for example, the back line of White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Simba, the better for Arsenal. Because that back line, I still believe, is our strongest back line to the day. I still believe that. You were right about Setford, but he needs to work on... Yeah, he needs to work on that, definitely. He needs... But he's only 18, so... He was in Ajax Academy, so definitely there's some talent, of course. So since he's only 18, he still has time to learn. But with goalkeepers, obviously, they hit their prime a bit later than the usual players, the outfield players. So he has a bit of time on his hands, especially with Raya being here, Karl Hein and everything with the backups. He has some time, let's just say it that way. But he was very decent. Yes, there was that moment when the cross came in and he misjudged everything when he was near the penalty spot and the Preston player outpaced him and got to the ball first. Luckily it went wide, but overall he was decent. He was genuinely decent, I'm not gonna lie. Setford is gonna be a top keeper one day, I believe. Hey, yo, Pepper, you're sounding like a top gooner. What is this? Yo, Pepper, you okay? You're sounding like a top gooner. Next thing you know, in 2 days you will say that Nwaneri is world class and everything. He's better than Yamal and stuff like that. Next thing you know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hein is balling out at Valdiv. You can say this about keeper. To be honest, Hein is doing well. Hein is doing well at Valladolid. Obviously, Valladolid were peppered by what's its face, Barcelona, like 5-6 nothing or something like that. But overall, he has been actually very good, and I was watching the game where I'm gonna show you. I was watching this game against Villarreal. Villarreal had 21 shots, 9 on target, right? And out of those 9 shots on target, he conceded 2, obviously, it leaves 7. At least 5 of those 7 shots were saves, which genuinely were very impressive. I'm not overhyping this. He actually made some very, very strong and good saves, which you don't see too much, especially from young goalkeepers. I know Hein isn't the youngest, but still, he made some very nice saves. I swallowed the Top Gunner Kool-Aid, too much AFTV. Dude, don't even. Don't even. Haven't watched AFTV in years. Interesting. For how long? All the AFTV was the one, it's gone down. Well, to be honest, I agree. I totally agree with that. The views, especially the views and the fan opinions in the last... Well, as soon as certain people started to go, like the people who were very vocal about certain aspects of the team, on Arsene Wenger and the club, on Cronkies in general, as soon as they just generally started binning them off, not inviting to the shows, I think those are the people casual fans connected the most with. As soon as they started binning them off, it all started to go downhill, in my opinion. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyways, moving on swiftly and surely. Okay, I want to speak about this. I know it's a massive rumor and everything, right? But hey ho, it is what it is. This is my wish list, like for Christmas, you know, you make a wish list, you write it down, you write a letter to Santa and everything, you mail it, and your parents sneakily, they say they give it to Santa and everything, or they mail them to Santa but they actually read it, basically that kind of thing, right? This is my Santa wish list. According to rumors, Real Madrid are ready to sell Tchouaméni to make room for Rodri, whose contract with Man City runs out in 2026. Tchouaméni's form has declined this season on some level. And that's according to Relevo. Now, if there's any chance that this is true, and this could be happening, right? And there's any chance that Arsenal could sign him, please go and do it. Like, no cap. Please go and do it. Like, genuinely. Genuinely go and do it. Question: would you take Tchouaméni at Arsenal? Tchouaméni's contract runs out, if it actually would load, would be nice, in 2028. Holy crap, he has 4 years left on his contract. 100 million! There's no chance Arsenal are signing him. No chance in hell. No chance. I said this when the window closed. You said it's not FIFA. Like, at the time it wasn't such a big deal. At the time it wasn't such a big thing because Real Madrid had defender issues and everything, and Tchouaméni tend to play center back at times. But now that there are some rumors about the fact that the Real Madrid are ready to sell, it's a completely different thing. I know I said that, but it's a completely different thing in a way. At the same time, I don't see Arsenal coughing up like 120 million, 130 million for him though. I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. Because if you remember 2 days ago we spoke about Nico Williams, where reports were rumoring that Arsenal offered 150 million for him and all that crap. No chance in hell that happened. No chance in hell, because it would have happened. That means it would have been written about everywhere. Genuinely everywhere. Because it's Arsenal in general. And that gets clicks for everyone. He will go to Liverpool. You think the FSG will finance that? You think FSG will finance that? I would love Camavinga at Arsenal. I would love Camavinga at Arsenal. For the way how we invert and all that crap we do, Camavinga would be just mwah, perfect. Just give me Güler on loan. Dude, the thing is, I know Güler on loan and crap like that is going around, right? People want him. I love Arda Güler, by the way. Proper player. I love the way he plays, the skills, the tech, the silkiness he has, and everything, that he has decent shot on him, very good vision and all that stuff. A bit injury prone, a bit weak, but it is what it is. If we sign Arda Güler or someone like that, Nwaneri is done. That is genuinely the case. Nwaneri is done. Because Arda Güler is Nwaneri's position. And stuff like that. Nwaneri is done and dusted instantly. That's something I don't want. I genuinely don't want that. That is something I have a big pet peeve about. That Arteta, with his game time and mismanagement of young players, will ruin Nwaneri, and we will see another Chidobe Martin, Patino, ESR situation where the player will be good enough, he will want some game time, and Arteta just won't give it to him. That is the thing. If we were serious, we dropped the bag on Gyökeres, Camavinga and Mbeumo. Mbeumo 50 million, Gyökeres, we talked about it, didn't we, yesterday? Like 2 days ago, 60, 70 million, right? The price could drop in summer. So that's 120. How much allegedly is Camavinga on Transfermarkt? 100 million as well. Can you believe Real Madrid signed Camavinga for 31 million only? 31 million. And he's tripled in the value now. Anyhow, and Camavinga would be 150 as well. No, not 150, 110 something, 120, something like that. So that's nearly 300 million. If we do that, we would spend over 1 billion as an 1.1 billion while Arteta has been here. Although we don't know if Arteta is going to be here by next season, but let's assume. At the moment, at least. So yeah. When Nwaneri can play other positions, I believe. Not sure of that. See, 160 plus. So let's say 160, right? 160 plus 50 for Mbeumo, that's 210. And about what for Gyökeres? 70, 80, right? So that's 300 million instantly. Like that. You know we would need to sell quite a bit. Yeah, 250 to 300 million for those three, exactly. Quite a bit. Rice, Güler, Nwaneri midfield. Oi, dude, that midfield is asking for trouble. Because for me, it's too weak of a midfield. it's very creative, it's very attacking midfield as well due to Goulet and Nwaneri, because Goulet is more of a 10/right wing in a way. Nwaneri as well, he's number 10/wing. I don't see him also as an 8. He's too weak, and he in number 8 he has the skill, he has the ability potentially, and the way his IQ works, footballing IQ, he actually could be Xanthi Cazorla type of player. I can see that. But he needs to grow massively still to get to that level. So I wouldn't mess around with that as of yet, at least. Yeah, it's very close to a Wenger midfield. When Wenger plays 3 number 8s, for example. One more box to box, one more creative, one more defensive or attacking, like Ramsey, Wilshere, and whoever, Xanthi Cazorla, right? 2 box to box, and two of those 3 are very creative as well. It's something in the Wenger levels, in basically something like that. Although Wenger would prefer Partey to Rice. Yeah, definitely Wenger would prefer Partey to Rice, because Partey is closer to. I think he would be like Alex Song type of situation in a way. Although no, he wouldn't. Although a bit he is, but it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, if there's any chance we could get Tchouaméni, actually it wouldn't be the worst. Is number 6? Why not? He can play center back as well. And let's just put it this out. I want to put this out because I'm sick of tired of Arsenal fan excuses why we lose the games and why something's not going our way, why Arteta needs time because of injuries. Look at Man City. Akanji is injured, Savinho, Gvardiol, De Bruyne, Bob, Rodri, Walker, Grealish, and Doku all are injured, and 3 of those players are out for the whole season almost, if not the whole season. What's his excuse? What is Guardiola's excuse if something doesn't go his way? He doesn't have excuses. He just says, we are injured, we have to deal with it, we move on. He just does that. So does City fans, to be honest. Most of the City fans I've talked to, I've seen, I've watched podcasts and everything, they're very realistic. They say, we have injuries. Well, yes, we won't be playing maybe as good, but it is what it is. We have to make the best of it and adjust, and we move on. When you watch Arsenal fans, when they see something like this, oh, that's it. Arteta especially, that will be excused for Arteta for staying another year if we don't win anything. That the bench is good enough still and everything. It's actually kind of wild. It's actually kind of wild if that would be the case. I cannot comprehend how that even would look in general. City played crap last night. Like, did you see City's starting 11? They had Pussy at center back, didn't they? Wasn't that the game? Wasn't that the game I'm thinking about? Wasn't that the guy? Or was it? Yeah, exactly. Their team genuinely was like makeshift wannabe something rather. Just look. City's team. Foden as a 10, as a 9. Why? O'Reilly, McAtee, Nunez, Ortega. Plus, Savio got injured. It looked like someone else got injured. I think it was Diaz or someone else got injured as well. And they subbed on Jacob Wright, Jahmai Simpson, Pussy. Like, what are these people even? They have Farid Alpha Ruprecht. Like, Haaland was on bench, didn't get a sniff. Ederson was on the bench, also didn't play, of course. Meanwhile, Spurs put out almost their pretty much best 11. Besides Gray, obviously. Van de Ven got injured as well. Like, it's complete different levels when you speak about Man City as well. They put out a C team, C team. Yeah, C team. And Spurs barely won. Because City could have just won that. It is a bit different though. That's a back four better than most. That's true, to be honest. That is true. I'm not gonna deny it. But the midfield, that just screams trouble. And for me, you can have whatever team you want, but one of the oldest sayings is, show me your midfield and I will tell everything you want to know about your team. And their midfield was, well, crap. Iriola better not roll over. Oh, dude, I hope not. we need to capitalize in this period while sitting. Yeah, we should. We generally should, given that especially our best players are all coming back. We are again scintillating, dangerous, and all that stuff, scary and everything. So we should. If Bournemouth can restrict City to 1 goal, there's a high chance they come out with at least a draw. Yeah, that's a big if though, in it. That's a very big if. Very big if when you speak about City. Very big if, in my opinion. Very big. I was shocked Pep didn't sub Ederson on. To be honest, he probably would have done better. What is strange to me is why he brought Haaland to be on the bench, but he never was subbing him on. True. True. But it's Pep. Let's be real. It's Pep. I strongly believe that for Pep at the moment, I'm not sure Carabao Cup he cares as much. He obviously, that may sound weird, but I'm not sure he does. I think he is more focused on a 5-peat, and he's more focused on Champions League given how last year went. I think he's more focused on those two, and I think he will go all out in these two competitions more than FA Cup even as well. But no matter what he puts out, what team he puts out, what he does, City will be up there. No matter what. Inter next week. Holy crap, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. It's Inter away. Yes, they haven't been the best of forms in a way. They conceded 4 goals against Juventus and stuff like that, but still, it's Inter. And they have the know-how and Italian known defense and all that crap. It is legitimately scary. Especially since Arsenal don't do well away in Champions League in general. In Europe in general. Under Arteta, our away record is shocking, to say the least. Same with Chelsea vs Newcastle and not subbing on Palmer. Why make him Chelsea? Yeah, I have no... It's weird. It's very, very weird. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You've been freaking fantastic. Big up Pepper, big up Nathan, big up everyone who watched. Thank you for liking, commenting, and everything. Subscribe if you're new around here, trying to hit 300 before this year ends. We are 3 away, so we are getting closer and closer to that goal. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave down a comment if you're watching this as a playback. You've been freaking fantastic. Tomorrow, of course, Newcastle game preview, and we're gonna talk about that a bit more. So until tomorrow, take care, stay safe, enjoy your Thursday, enjoy your Friday, and see you very, very soon.